Okay, hello, welcome. I'm gonna work on a little bit of cardio here. All right, I'm gonna make sure that I'm in the screen. It looks like everything's good. So go ahead and find your piece of cardio equipment and start moving on that. These are my collection of shorts, so it'll be 25 to 30 minutes or so of cardio. Maybe we'll do a little bit of other things, we'll see, but probably mostly a cardio thing here, and you'll have to do your other things outside of the class. And those of you that are on the step, I'll be giving you, some different things to do here. And let's see, I've been doing a little bit of study on skin issues and diet, so I may share a little bit of that information with you and where I got my information. So that might just be a bonus for you, or you may not have any skin issues, but you probably know somebody who does if it's not you. So starting out, checking in with your heart rate. Maybe you've got a device that you'd use. Maybe you do the old-fashioned way. Stair steppers, I switched sides. I'm just doing the one side up and down. And every day that we show up to our cardio or show up to our other practices can be a different day. So yesterday might have had a lot of energy. Today might feel a little different. Might feel like I'm getting winded faster than other times. So allowing your experience to be in the now, not in the what you hope it would be or what it was yesterday, but noticing your heart rate. Are you already solidly in that zone 1, zone 2? As we start to get warmed up here, traveling here on the step. I've got my weights, they might be just out of the frame. I may take those into my hands here for a little while. Real light weights at this point. I'm just walking down, same foot is going up each time. And walking back, leading with the other foot. Good. I'll march it out a little bit here. Maybe even some high knees. Lifting up, kicking back, knees, kicking, knees, 4, kick, 4, knees, kick. Back to my step. And then let's switch. Each time you go up, switching which foot goes up. switching how I do my weights. Can be really fast with the arms. I can also make myself wait. That was harder. Wait, open. 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 And coming back to arms down. I'm going to travel over the top and start giving you a little bit of information about skin issues. I'm not sure I can give you all of it today. Give you some. So I've been a pretty loyal follower of a nutritionist in Wisconsin. She's changed her practice over the years, but she's seen tens of thousands of people. What I admire about her work is how well-based it is in biology, microbiology, and chemistry. It can be really confusing in the dieting fad world to know what's right. So I'm not claiming that any of what I'm telling you is the end-all be-all or is 100% accurate. I'm only going to share because I think and trust this person's intelligence, their research, and from what I can tell, the bones behind it, what's actually happening on the physiological level in the body with these different processes. And she's really good at explaining in a way that a non-chemist can understand. How are you doing? I'm gonna get in our time very quickly here. A little short practice. Just keep moving. Keep biking. Keep rowing. Keep stepping. Slow it down if you need to. If you're getting into that zone 3, that isn't the purpose here. If it's hard to keep yourself in zone 2, that's why you might have the weights, just so you get a little more of that. Get a little more of that upper challenge, right? The cardio challenge, without it being a huge exertion. I'm gonna go straight ahead here, and I think I'm gonna go over the top again. Again, because I did it before in some of my other classes, but not today. You didn't miss anything. So let's walk over right foot, right foot, right foot back, right foot down. So, skin issues. With the skin, we can have a few different issues. We can have lack of water. It's a big one. So a lot of us have dry skin. And wouldn't you know that one of the things that we just neglect to do is drink enough water. there's a pretty easy solution for some of your skin issues, is to drink water. Sometimes our skin suffers because we have an overproduction of hormone. Hormones are made up of fats. All the movement we do is adrenaline, that's a hormone. And we need fats in order to make that hormone and all the other hormones in our body. So a lot of times you'll see teenagers, they've got an excess amount of hormone. They're going through puberty, there's a time in our lives where that expresses itself more often, but it's gonna be worsened if we're also eating the wrong kind of fats. And we're not drinking water, or maybe we're eating poorly altogether, right? We're eating the wrong fats. We might also be eating a lot of sugar, and that doesn't help anything out. So water, hormone balance. Sometimes we have skin issues due to histamine response. And without going into a lot of detail about histamine response, you've heard of antihistamines. We can take things that dull that response, basically kind of try to turn it off in the body. When we have a histamine response, what we'd like to do is throw away the excess histamine. In the same way that we want to throw away the excess hormone if we're an overproducer. How you doing? I want to try this over, tap, and back. Over, tap, and back. Requires a lot of the standing leg. A lot of stability, a lot of strength. Over and back. Over and back. Over and back. And let's try the other leg. If you're riding your bike, continue riding your bike. Feeling the feet on the pedals. Or the feet in your tennis shoes. Or the arms moving if you're rowing. I think I'm going to keep my arms out of it till I'm done with my leg things and come back in March. So let's see. There also can be infection in the skin. So maybe you've had or know someone who's had psoriasis or some other skin issue. Let's make some big wide steps if you're on the step with me. And things get cracked, and they are just more than, the body's not healing those cracks. And sometimes they can become real painful, and there actually is an infection. So we gotta get rid of the infection and then do the right things to get the right balance of fats in the body. Fats and water. Skin is made up of fat. So, take those weights overhead and down, overhead, and down. Maybe even just keeping that shoulder height. A little more challenging for my body. These weights are light enough I can work on a fly type arm work. All right, stepping sideways. So, different kinds of problems require different answers. Infection in the skin, actually pretty nice home remedy to take on that infection. Baking soda. Whether it's a pimple on the face or those cracked lesions on the body, you can soak in baking soda bath. You can make a baking soda paste to put it on the face or somewhere else before you go to bed. And there's a chemical reaction that happens with that baking soda that's better than Epsom salts. Epsom salts could work, but you might find the baking soda bath a little bit better. So soaking in baking soda, bathtub, 4 inches of water, 1.5 cups of baking soda. You'll want to buy it in bulk if you're going to be treating yourself for a few weeks. 20 minutes sitting in the bath. If you're putting it on your face, it can stay there overnight, it'll probably crumble off. But baking soda, turns out, is a pretty cool thing. So there's one. Get rid of your infection. If there is an infection, get rid of that. Kick up a little bit. Kick up. What about those histamines? You get a rash. It doesn't stay. It might come and go. It might be there for a little while. It could come on because of stress, something you ate. Those histamine responses have itchiness with them. We want to get rid of the histamines. And the way we do that is by eating soluble fiber. Our best source of soluble fiber. You might want to guess what it is, so I'll give you a moment. Best source of soluble fiber is a legume. Eating the beans. So, not talking about green beans. It has to be a dried bean. Split peas, garbanzos, pintos. Lots of other ones, cannellini, kidney, black-eyed peas, could continue, lentils, all kinds of lentils. So we want to eat those frequently, especially if we're having a histamine response. Every 20 minutes, we could have a couple of spoonfuls. Or maybe you have an ongoing thing and you want to be getting rid of this excess. We're going to go right into that other excess, which is the hormones. Excess hormones, we're going to want to get rid of them the same way. Beans frequently throughout the day. The other option is psyllium husk. It's Metamucil without the sugar, without the additives, colors. If you like that, if you add hot water to it, it's kind of like a cereal, pretty bland, but it works in the same way. Just need a teaspoon at a time. But the idea is you can't eat it all at once. Our bile is getting dumped into our digestive tract, we estimate every 20 minutes. And if we don't get rid of the histamines, if we don't get rid of the hormones, they stay in the bloodstream. They continue to uptake. But if we can bind them, and they like to be bound to this soluble fiber, then they leave the body. They leave the body in the form of bowel movement. So, histamine responses, infections, hormones, to eat that soluble fiber. But we also don't want to be adding to the problem with the hormones in our skin. And we add to the problem when we eat saturated fat. And Karen goes into depth about this chemically, the unsaturated versus saturated fat. And when we eat saturated fats, maybe you've heard of the word oxidize. We create oxidation in the body when we eat saturated fat. Bacon, sorry to say, all the fat in the meat, the skin on the meat. Coconut oil is a saturated fat. It is solid at room temperature. Any fat that's solid at room temperature is saturated. Which ones are unsaturated? Which ones do we want to be eating? Go ahead and put my weights down. Let's check in. Getting close to a few more minutes here, working the body. But working it in a very, just above easy, right? Just above easy. Feeling like I've got to do something here to keep my feet moving. Got to look at the clock and say, time isn't up yet. So I think a lot of us who are paying attention know those unsaturated fats are better for us. And anything that's not processed is better for us. So the trans fat, the hydrogenated oils, they hydrogenate them so they can be solid at room temperature. Peanut butter has palm oil in it a lot of times. When it's mixed, it's so nice and spreadable. I really like it. But palm oil is solid at room temperature. So I try not to eat too much of peanut butter with the palm oil in it. But peanuts are great. What are the good oils? Back to center. Kick back. Kick back. If you want to, you can even bring the arm down and that leg way back behind you. My wall is a little close. But just bringing my body down, kind of up the ante a little to touch my hand to the step. So those good oils, liquid at room temperature, olive oil, avocado oil, nut oils, pecan oil, sesame oil, walnut oil. All of those oils, really good, really readily available to make those hormones. Remember, we went all the way back to the beginning, that everything we do, we need to be able to make hormones. Because adrenaline is a hormone. It's the one we're using all the time to make any move we need to make. We don't only use adrenaline when there's a crisis. We use it to get out of bed in the morning. We use it to cook. We use it to work. So we need these good oils to be able to make our hormones easily and not the saturated ones, which cause oxidation. And you've heard of antioxidants. Some foods that help us maybe get those radicals, or what happens when we oxidize, we have free radicals. And there are particles that are looking for a buddy. And a lot of times they don't find them, and then they cause trouble. So again, we could get into the chemistry of it, the bonds that are broken, what each atom really wants to have. It wants to have a completeness to it, a complete shell around it. So, back to our on track. We've only got a few more minutes to tie a bow in this. You want to be eating those good fats. That includes all the nuts. Really good for you to eat those nuts. Any kind of nuts. The seeds are good too. But we don't want to eat the nuts at the same time as you eat, or the oil. If you're really going to have a lot of olive oil on something, maybe you have a salad, lots of olive oil on it. You're going to want to eat your beans at a different time so the beans don't take that nice good fat out. Now, there are times when it just isn't possible. I'll have salad and I'll have beans in my salad and I have olive oil and I like how it tastes. And I realize I'm going to lose some of that oil. But I might be very purposeful in the evening to have my beans at dinner. And an hour and a half later, just before bed, I'll have just nuts. Nuts, maybe with some oil on it. It's important to have with your nuts a little bit of salt for the chemical reaction that happens. It doesn't have to be too salty, it has to have some salt. So I'll purposely do that for my skin, for the hormones that I would like to be very healthy and easily made in my body. So there's a whole host of skin issues we could talk about here. And maybe if you watch this and you want to email me, we can have a discussion about specific ones. I'm not a nutritionist yet. I'm thinking about studying that, but I've studied quite a bit, and I can give you more references to look this up, or for Karen Hurd's courses, which she has readily available online. So you're getting a little intro for free or for class. If it's interesting to you, please let me know. It's very interesting to me to know how to take care of our bodies better, to be more mindful about these things. Drink your water, eat your beans, eat your nuts at the same time. Use that baking soda bath if you need to, baking soda paste, to clear up any infection, which, like I said, sometimes that's an infection with acne. I'm trying to think if I've forgotten any of it. There were 4. Water, hormones, histamine, infection. I'll get back to you. Maybe you're thinking right now you've got a question. All right, we're about to wrap this up. Let's add, for those of you on the step, a little L shape here. You step off the end, back, and center. And back, center. And back, center. Good. So in just a second, we'll come off your piece of equipment. We'll come to the floor. And let's just take the last 2 minutes here on the floor, checking in. I think I can come in in front of my step without being, too far out of the frame. Check in with the heart rate. Breath is definitely, I'm not gonna force it anywhere. I can pretty well set in that zone 2 still. So let's take that zone 2 and let it be. And let's just check out with our legs here. If you've been on a bike, you've been doing something a little bit different than the step. Let's just see if we can take the shins forward and see how the legs feel in that and come back up. Strong legs and back up. Strong legs and stand. Take the arms up. Especially if you didn't use your arms. If you were rowing, you probably used your arms a little more. We did a little bit with the arms and our weights. I'm just gonna do a little tree movement here. And then come on up and let's do a little side bend. Reach the arms really tall, just to get nice and long, this whole side, and come back. Actually, want to stay really long with both sides. That's really challenging, isn't it? Because it's pretty easy to let this side collapse. So what if I continue to reach both sides? Come back to center. Shoulders get broad. Let's come to cactus arm. Reach the elbows way out. My breath is still as it is. And back out. In and back out. All the way up. Nice long reach. Let the feet really land on the floor. Maybe even want to grab this arm at the wrist and reach up and come back. And we'll go to the other side and use that little tug. Let your foot really go the other direction, down into the floor and back. And with a breath, take it now, purposeful, nice deep breath, and let's roll down. Pull the belly in, get really rounded here, and then let's take that all the way forward. You can pause along the way here. And then as you get down more, if you want to, you can straighten the knees a little bit, just checking out how this feels in the back, the calves, the hamstrings. But more than anything, letting the head be down toward the floor, letting the arms be at ease, the spine be rounded. And then as you're ready, we'll find our way back up. And up to standing. Good. So I promised short. I think we're right in that window. 25 to 35 minutes is what I'm trying to do these little shorts with. And we'll see you again next time. I'll be doing something, maybe with a step again, maybe another cardio, or maybe we'll be doing some Pilates or yoga instead. So I'm trying to mix it all up. All right, see you again soon. Thank you.